Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm continuing to work on the challenge hashtag Little Bits of Lace 2024 started by Cori Dahmen. If you do open up the description box, I do have a link to her video. I also have links to some of my previous episodes where I'm using up little bits of lace in my stash to create a little bits of lace journal, an idea journal. And today I am coming on to share one of my ideas, and it is to create a corner bookmark. These have been around for a long time. I remember making these even as a kid, but I also remember decorating some and making them quite a while ago when I first started stamping over 20 years ago. And so I just wanted to show you one method of making a corner bookmark, and then we'll add some lace and put it into our journals. And I know that there's probably several different methods of making corner bookmarks. I'm sure if you look here on YouTube, corner bookmarks, there's probably some different ways to make them. But I'm just going to show you one of the ways that I learned how to make them as a kid. And then even again when I started stamping as an adult in my, 18, 19 years old when I first started stamping at a local stamp store. We made these in a class also. And I think I've probably added them in the past to journals, I'm not sure. And I'm thinking for my little bits of lace journal, I'm going to add it up to the top of this little music sheet, I think. I was just kind of going through right before I filmed, trying to figure out, I needed a corner that it would work nicely on, or else I could maybe even put it on this one up here. So maybe I'll put it on this one up here, we'll see. You just need a corner in your bookmark. Or not your bookmark, you need a corner in your journal to put a corner bookmark. So you do need to start off with a piece of square paper, and let's see, mine is 4 by 4, I think like 4 by 4, 3 by 3, 3.5 by 3.5, maybe even 5 by 5 would work. Any bigger than that, it might not fit in your journal unless you're doing a really big journal. And so, so what you want to do to start off with is, again, you have your square piece of paper, and this is scrapbooking paper. Again, this is from the Hobby Lobby paper pad that is called Distress Florals. And my square might not be 100% perfect. It might also be helpful to have a bone folder. And if you wanted to use, one of these scoreboards, you could also use one of those. I think I'm just going to do it freestyle. And what I'm going to do, so here's the front side of my scrapbooking paper. I'm going to go and I'm going to fold from up here to up here, from corner to corner, the diagonal way. This is a little bit thicker cardstock. It's probably going to be easier on a lighter weight. So maybe if you're just playing along for the first time and you've never made these before, maybe you just want to use like a scrap piece of like typewriting paper, lightweight paper for your first time that you've made them. So I'm going to fold it that way. So I have a triangle, 2 triangles. And then I'm going to fold it the opposite way. So we're kind of creating a little X in our paper, basically, is what we're doing. And again, I think my square is slightly off, so, but that's okay. It'll still kind of work out. So now you can kind of see we have, this is what we have, the little X. And so I'm just trying to think here. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my scrapbooking paper the right side up. So the right pattern on the top, and this is just the side that you were not really going to see. And then I'm just going to fold it just once in half. And if you folded it the wrong way, it's fine. You just want this type of pattern is what it's going to look like, because you can re-manipulate it if you have to. So it's not the end of the world if you folded it. You just need the X with one of the ones across the middle is all you need. So hopefully that makes sense and that you guys can kind of see that. So now I have it again with the right side up, and we're just going to kind of push in where your horizontal fold is, and then you're just going to push back. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, I'll just open it up so you can see one more time. And so I have my X this way, and then the horizontal fold. And I'm just going to push in on the horizontal fold. And since we've already folded it, it should come together pretty easy. And once those are kind of indented in, you should just be able to push these two together. And so that creates a cute little corner bookmark. So now if I grab my journal here that I'm working on from my Little Bits of Lace episode, I need to find a corner that doesn't have something on it. Again, I could just use a music sheet, and then you can kind of see, you can just kind of hook it into wherever you want it on your page here. Of course, you could just cut up, if you wanted a corner bookmark, you could just cut up 2 triangles too if you wanted to, but I just thought I would show you guys how to fold one. So again, I'm going to put this into my journal somewhere here. And since we're using up little bits of lace, we're going to decorate it with some lace. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see me. And you can see here, again, here's what it looks like. Just to make it, you don't have to do this step, but I'm just going to make it so it's going to fit in the journal a little bit flatter. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here and then right in here. And I'll still be able to hook it into my journal page. So again, I'll just kind of show you this view. If I didn't glue it, you could just hook it here or here onto your corner. And then it kind of does flatten over time. The little bookmark does. But just to make it a little flatter, I'm going to go ahead and just put some glue on the inside of this triangle there, and then also on this side. Just where it folded in. And again, I'll just show you, this is kind of what it looks like now. I just glued that part in the middle. And I'll still be able to hook it into a journal here or right here. I can add it to a journal page there or right here. So hopefully that makes sense. You don't have to do that part that I just did with the gluing part if you don't want to. And I am going to take some Distress ink, and I'm just going to ink just the parts that I don't have ink on them. I inked the paper before I started, but I didn't know where my folds were going to be, so I'm just kind of inking my folds here. And then again, I had these 2 scrap pieces of lace that I think are beautiful, left over from a project. And so I'm going to use those on my corners here. And so I was thinking that this will just be a really basic one today. I'm just going to put one on this side and one on this side. And then I have my corner bookmark done. But if you wanted to do a lot more layers, I still have other remnants, sitting on my desk that you could add different layers, just depending upon what kind of look. It would look really pretty. Like if you had a ruffled lace or something off of the bottom of one of these, that would look really nice too. Maybe I should do that on one of my sides. Let me just dig for a second in my, well, maybe just do a basic one. Let me just dig real quick in my bowl that's sitting here. Okay, so I just found a couple that I can play with here. So maybe I'll just do this on one of the sides, and then we'll save this for something else. And then one of the sides, we can just add like a little piece of lace. This one I could cut down too and just use part of this one. And then I'm wondering, I just grabbed, I don't know if we do this like on the back side of this corner bookmark, we could maybe add one of our little label words that we made in an earlier episode. We might be able to glue one of these down on the top. That might be kind of cute. That one fits, or this one even fits. That says Imagine on it. I think this little basic one fits too. And then if we were to add this lace down there, that might look kind of cute. So let's do that one. Or we also did these clusters that we could have added. But I think I like this label that we did. So let's do that one on one of the sides. And again, I think this was like one of my earlier episodes. It was labels and lace. So if you want to go back and watch that one on how I created that label and lace. I just have to decide if I want to cut this lace up because it's really pretty. I don't even know where I got this one from. It probably came in a grab bag. I think for whatever reason today, I think I really want to work with this one. So I'm just going to cut it in half. This is one of those insertion laces where normally you like zigzag a piece of ribbon through the middle of it. But oftentimes I just take them and I can use like both sides of it. So I usually just cut them down the middle. And if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, again, for me, I'm labeling any bit of my little bits of lace that's anything 12 inches or less that's in my stash for this series. And so this one, then if we're going to decorate this side, I think wouldn't that look really cute right there? So let me see. I think I'm just going to try and use my tacky glue. And oftentimes, if you guys watch my channel enough, I do sometimes put a little piece of like this Teflon sheet underneath things just to make sure I don't get glue where I don't want it. So I'm going to do that again with this one. And let's just figure out. So I'm just going to glue that right there. Then I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off so I still have a little piece left over to use on something else. So that's glued down, and then we'll go ahead and add this little label also. You could also add a fussy cut or something like that if you wanted up here. But again, we're working on this little bits of lace journal, so the more lace I can add, the better. If I wanted to, I could have added like another layer of lace underneath that label too. But I kind of like that, and I think that's going to look really cute on one side of my journal page. And you can see I didn't, because I had that sheet in there, I didn't accidentally glue it shut. So let's just flip it over and decorate the back side real quick. So I had these two pieces of leftover lace, and again, my original intent was to use them both on both sides, but we might as well decorate each side differently. Let's cut this one up, and I'll still have little pieces left over that I can use on some sort of little snippet or something here. So if that goes up there, you know, this lace isn't quite, you know, even, so I can't cut it exactly the same just because of the patterning in it. Again, this was a lace that came off of a wedding dress that I took off. And it looks like all the beads are kind of falling off of this one. Sometimes I choose to cut off the beads, but I think I'll be okay because this one's going to hang up on the top of a page. I don't think I need to do that, but what I am going to do though is this bead's kind of loose right here. I'm just going to just kind of re-glue that down a little bit if I can. It still might fall off, but we'll see if it stays or not. All right, so let's see. And then just looking here on my desk for different scraps, I'm thinking it might be nice to have some cheesecloth kind of poking out behind here, or some eyelash trim. I think I'll do the cheesecloth. I had this left over from the previous episode, so let's glue that down. And I think I'm going to just kind of trim part of this one off up here. I don't like that little bit up there. I like that better. And you can see just a little bit of the cheesecloth hanging out. So there is the back side of that bookmark, and then there is the other side. So let's grab my journal and let's try it out on a page in here. Again, I just need a corner that doesn't have anything else on it. Like here, I couldn't really hang it off of here because it might hit the tab that we made in another episode. And so I'll just, again, I'm just gonna hook it right into here. Just slide that right in. And then we have that on the top of our journal page, or even, and that's what it looks like on the other side. I'm wondering if it might not look a little bit nicer on the music paper. I kind of like that. You know, and if you wanted to, you could glue it down. If you wanted to make it permanent, you could make it into a top tuck spot. You could add, you might need to add a little paper clip to kind of, or a little clip to hold it in place so it doesn't fall off. It just kind of depends. So you'll just have to make your own decisions in your journal. And I was just kind of even looking, like last week we did one of these lacy, just a basic one. You could just glue that up here, not glue it, but you could add it up there. I would maybe choose to do a little bit smaller paper clip. And then you would just move it throughout your journal as you use the bookmark. But you could also use it, if you wanted to completely glue it down, you could just use it as a tuck spot too. If you wanted to add a little bit of glue just on the inside so that it would glue down, you could use it as a tuck spot too, a corner tuck spot. But I'm calling it a corner bookmark because I'm hoping I might be able, if I'm using my journal, you can kind of move it along as you're working on things. I don't know, it might not fit as well because this one's a little bit too big because of the tab. So I guess that is something to think about if you are making these, is if it's going to compete with anything else. Like I know here it's going to compete with that on this side. So I might not be able to use it 100% as a bookmark, but at least I have the idea in my little bits of lace as a bookmark. Thank you again for stopping by to check out my latest little bits of lace video today. And hopefully I will see you guys back next time for another episode. Until then, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.